Hello, hello, hello. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope you are doing well today and you are actually safe and sound. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. This is again Coach MirandaMiner for another edition of Coach MirandaMiner learning series over our 10 p.m. live, no? Live crypto news, crypto updates, and other needed information for you to be a very effective trader in the cryptocurrency space. Magandang gabi sa'yo. I hope you are doing well today, and I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. No, our topic for today is about what is the Bitcoin taproot. No, what is a taproot and how it will benefit Bitcoin in the long term. In the long term, no, Bitcoin is actually obviously something during our Bitcoin 101. You guys have all heard about Bitcoin as a blockchain. You guys have heard about Bitcoin as a blockchain and Bitcoin as one of obviously the one of the pioneers in the blockchain space. And when we discussed the implementation of Solana, right, and we were actually trying to compare Solana with Bitcoin and Ethereum, you guys have seen that Solana is giving Bitcoin a run for its money, meaning it's actually lambasting the ability of Bitcoin to process. No, Bitcoin can actually process around 5 to 8 or 5 to 10 transactions per second. However, Solana is actually at 50,000 transactions per second. And Vet or VeChain is actually around 10,000 or 20,000 transactions per second. So comparatively, obviously, Bitcoin needs to obviously carry its weight, and obviously Bitcoin is something that would need to do a lot of activities in the back end for it to be able to continue to uh, be very relevant. No, however, I don't think it's only about transactions per second. I think it's about the brand. It's about the coin. No, Bitcoin is always going to be Bitcoin, which is the pioneer. No, or one of the is I mean the biggest coin. No, in terms of market capitalization. No, so what is this Taproot all about, and how can this impact or influence the blockchain technology of Bitcoin? No, so there are two ways to learn. There are two ways to learn Taproot. I will give you a choice. Okay, I will give you a choice either. Okay, number one, you actually either you look at this Taproot switchable scripting. I could definitely give you the link of this programming language. You could actually just go and read all of this, or if you want, Coach Miranda Miner can actually simplify it for you. Now, type number one if you want the simplified version, or you want this version to be read. No, right? Do you want it to be more simplified? Type number one if you want the simplified version. I could give it to you in 5 minutes. In the easiest way possible. What is the Taproot? No, obviously you have your Linux version, which is good for your programming. Basically, it's actually talking about the uh, um, you know privacy preservation, no, or privacy preserving switchable scripting. Basically, guys, in a nutshell, Taproot is a script na ilalagay sa Bitcoin blockchain to preserve privacy. To preserve privacy. And obviously, there is a Binance article that was actually published 4 months ago that spoke about Taproot because unang pinanggit ang Taproot way back November of last year. And obviously, the first trial version is going to be done on May. And then the major upgrade is going to happen by November. No? So Taproot is basically a security protocol or a script that will protect the privacy because today, one of the major problems of Bitcoin is that it's actually able to process. However, there is potential security issues. No, I'm sure you probably have seen. Some of you have probably heard about the security issues na lumalabas about Bitcoin for the past couple of weeks now. However, and this is actually this is very timely. This particular rollout is very timely for Bitcoin because it's actually going to put into bed those potential issues on privacy. No, so basically it looks like this. Let me just look for that. So you see this green area. This is the visual representation of what Taproot wants to accomplish, no? Ang gustong i-accomplish ni Taproot is that whenever there is a transaction in the Lightning Network channel, right? The Taproot upgrade wants the smart contract to be very indistinguishable, no? It wants to have this type of visual. So parang if you look at all the squares, no? I mean, you would not know that there's actually a smart transaction na nangyayari sa loob, no? And it's worth noting that the Taproot implementation actually will not change the current uh, uh, what's this the current reliability of the transaction, meaning mangyayari pa rin yung sending and receiving, no, ng smart transaction if there's a transaction that's happening. However, kasi ang pinaka problema ng Bitcoin prior to the Taproot is because ang daming potential loopholes ng kanyang security system, no, ang daming potential loopholes ng kanyang security system, no. So in a nutshell, a Taproot actually is going to and tatlong major upgrade on a very English manner, and that's my role. I want to simplify everything for you guys. No, it aims to bring major improvements in the Bitcoin privacy. No, I would not discuss in detail the Schnorr signature. No, it's basically a signature protocol that's actually combined with Taproot. Kung gusto niyo malaman kung ano yung Schnorr signature, it's actually here. It's actually all in this a Linux developer version of the explanation. No? But in a very nutshell, in a nutshell, what Taproot is all about is it aims to reduce the amount of data to be transferred and stored in the blockchain. Kailangan nila yan para ma-protect yung what's the obvious. Kasi whenever you process something in the blockchain, ang daming nakalabas na data, no, in Tagalog. There's so many data that's actually exposed. No? Another benefit is obviously it aims to improve the transactions per block. No, so when I spoke about Solana, when I spoke about VeChain, you guys have seen that Solana is actually 50,000 transactions per second. But in this case, Bitcoin needs to carry its weight. No, it's still a legacy blockchain, but what it wants to do is it wants to further improve and get more transactions per block. No, higher TPS rate, sabi nga. And then, of course, lower transaction fees. It's still very expensive today to do transactions in the Ethereum, in the blockchain network, more of the Bitcoin network. No? And then, sabi dito, another benefit to the Taproot is the fact that signatures will no longer be malleable. No? Malleable meaning it could bend. No, malleability means its bendability, which is known as a security risk for Bitcoin. Kumbaga, pwede mo siyang i-bend yung signature. Sorry, you could actually and whenever you do that in a very in a blockchain network, it poses risks. Sabi nga natin, a smart contract is immutable, no, but it doesn't mean that the information na makukuha mo dun sa transaction na yon cannot be used against people who are malicious, no. So simply put, signature malleability means it's technically possible to alter the signature of a transaction before it gets confirmed. So, 'di ba? So mabilis, mabilis na nga, pero if you compare into blockchain, kung ikaw ay nagko-compare ng uh, uh, Solana TPS versus blockchain TPS or BTC TPS, kung 10 lang ang transactions mo na kayang gawin in a second, pwede ka pa rin magbago ng signature before it gets confirmed versus a transaction or a blockchain that can process 50,000 in a second, no? There's obviously a very good comparison. No? Meron kang time to obviously change the signature. So that's what Taproot wants to do. By doing this, the attack would make it appear as if the transaction never happened. No? So this leaves Bitcoin exposed to the infamous double spending problem, which could ruin the integrity of the distributed ledger. No? Double spending problem meaning hindi kasi niya, kumbaga pinapalabas ng transaction na it was actually double executed because there was a change na nangyari doon sa signature before it even happened, no? So those problems can occur, and that's exactly what Taproot wants to avoid, right? That's what Taproot wants to avoid. Okay. So, sino sa inyo ang nakaalala ng TPS ng Solana? Paki-comment kung ilan. Paki-comment. Paki-comment nga kung ilan ng TPS ng Solana and ilan ng TPS ng VeChain. Let me see kung natuto kayo dyan. And I'm gonna be reading some comments. I'm going to read some comments. If people will help, will remember, no? Okay. Let me check nga kung may mga nag-comment. Alright. So, let me check. May nag-comment ba? Ilan? It's 50,000. 50,000 for Solana. And it's actually 20,000 for VeChain. No? Ayan, tama. Thank you, Rafael. Thank you, Tanta. No? All right. So it's definitely larger than blockchain. No? And as I was saying, no, let me just further give you some insights. Ano ba yung double spending problem? No? Ito kasi yung ugali ni Bitcoin wherein kapag ang network is na-disrupt, no? When it's actually disrupted, technically, yung Bitcoin nawala, it's stolen, no? Ang ginagawa nung thief, nagsisend siya ng copy ng transaction to make it look legitimate. Or pwede niyang gawin, the person might erase the transaction altogether. Although hindi siya common, no? Nangyayari yung double spending. So yun yung pinaka-problema ng Bitcoin blockchain ngayon, no? So, yung mga taong may alam on how to program Bitcoin or how to program a smart contract within the Bitcoin network, then definitely they could do that. But with this development, the Taproot development, this would allow the prevention of the double spending problem. And I think it's going to be a very big development because at the end of the day, anything that you will do in your major blockchain from a development standpoint would mean very positive catalyst. Itatandaan ninyo guys, from a trend perspective, normally, ang pagiging bullish ng market is nangyayari pag latter part na ng taon. For example, yun nangyari noong November and December last year, no? Now, people obviously have a lot of money to buy more coins, so that's why it's actually an economies of scale. Kumbaga, um, ang daming-daming pwedeng bumili and it could scale up. No? So isasabay niya pa yan dyan, November ang upgrade, and obviously the last quarter of the year is when the bullish trend happens, like what happened last year, no? From 16,000 average, pumalo ng 32,000 per Bitcoin, no? Nung last year, no? So this year, mangyayari ulit yan, and you will have your Taproot upgrade. And I think from a layman's term, it's actually really it's a good development. It's a very, very good development. Okay. So I hope that it kind of help you understand. Whenever you see Taproot, it is a script. It's a security script, no? That is actually applied in the blockchain network to avoid security issues in Tagalog. Magkaroon ng iwas sa problema sa security, no? Obviously, avoiding double spending problem. Diniscuss ko sa inyo. Yung mga magnanakaw, yung mga thief, they could actually replace the actual transaction or they could actually omit or remove the transaction para hindi siya halata. And so ganyan na nangyayari, no? Very distinguishable, may mga red marks. May red marks yung transaction pero ngayon ang aim niya ganito. Dapat ang aim ni Taproot ganito maging itsura ng transaction para hindi siya distinguishable, no? Ganyan. So pag dumating man yung thief, iisipin ang gagawin nung technology, it would make it look like the transaction did not even happen. No, for the thief not to notice anything, lalo na kung malaki yung smart transaction. 'Di ba? Lalo na kung malaki. All right, so guys, I hope you learned something for today. Again, I don't need you guys to go to this Linux um white paper that talks about Taproot. Diniscuss ko na sa inyo in a very, 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 very simplest manner. Sana naunawaan nyo. And again, from a fundamental standpoint, this is really a big upgrade or development in the technology of blockchain for Bitcoin. No? This is really, really good. No? Anyways, let me just make sure I read something else here. Hang on a second, guys. Ayan, for the developers, basahin ko lang to. Sabi dito, The special case of a top level threshold signature or arbitrary condition can be made indistinguishable from a normal one party signature with no overhead at all, with a special delegating check signature which I call Taproot. No? Yun yung pinaka definition niya based on this white paper. No? Gumagawa sila ng security script or privacy script para yung signature hindi mabago, no, yung signature ng system hindi mabago because right now the thief are actually changing the transaction before the signature even is cemented in the transaction, no? So medyo napakagandang improvement, and I hope you guys learned something on it. Okay, so let's quickly go with our cryptocurrency readout. Ang pangako ang what Coach Miranda Miners mentioned earlier is we will actually go with Fibonacci retracements today. No, are you excited, guys? Do you wanted to learn? Do you wanted to learn about Fibonacci retracements? Let me know. Type number 1 if you wanted to learn. I'm going to teach you today how to do that, no? But allow me to do first a quick readout of our coin performance, guys. Mano-notice ninyo karaniwan pag weekend bumababa ang coin, no? Ang daming mga FUDs or fear, uncertainty, and doubt commentaries, no? And ang ginagawa nila, tinatakot nila yung mga retailers para mag-withdraw. Tapos bilang tataas ng weekdays. Tataas ng weekdays, no? So let's do a quick readout. Bitcoin is actually currently at 35 high $35,000, almost $36,000. The volatility is flat, less than 1% for the past 24 hours and 7 days. Ethereum is actually a bit volatile on a 24 hours time frame. It's sitting at almost negative 3%, but the coin is still at $2,348. The volatility for the past 7 days is a bit high at double digit 12.04% negative. Binance coin still at low 300s, no? Also double digits ang ating mga altcoins today. Ang altcoins natin are all double digits performance, no? Negative double digits. Obviously, Binance came from 37,000, bumaba ng 34, umakyat ng 36. No, ranging. You gotta remember, kapag nag-range ang isang coin, it is actually subject to breakout. Tatandaan niyo yan, no? Subject to breakout yan. All right, Cardano is actually also the same, no? 1.42 kahapon, it's 1.55. Bumaba ng 1.47 and currently it's actually at 1.42. I'm very bullish of this Cardano long term, no? So let's wait for this, no? Dogecoin is actually at 0.3091, a bit down, no? A bit down, but kanina pa to sa 0.30. Actually, kahapon pa to sa 0.30. It's actually been playing within this particular range. Kahapon pa, no? Actually, 0.30, 0.31, 0.32. I've been looking for the right entry kahapon pa. I did not see a right entry yesterday. That's why I did not trade yesterday. Until today, no? XRP, actually today, I traded today. May mga positions na ako. However, I will not say that. Sabi ko sa inyo, I will not share to you my trades anymore. Where are my open positions? So you don't copy my trades, no? Anyways, XRP is at 10.58% for the past 7 days negative. Medyo mababa to, no? It's actually been sitting at 0.80 for quite some time already, no? Last time we saw it at 0.9. Medyo kahapon or 2 days ago, no? So I think weekend is really a lot of negative and obviously low volume because there's not much of institutions or whales buying or selling, no? So interesting. The same trend line, same story for Polkadot, Litecoin, Solana, all also double digits, and Chainlink at double digits negative trend, no? Negative average of negative 15% for all of those 5 coins from a 7-day perspective. However, on the past 24 hours, not so much volatility. Every one of them are actually below 5% volatility, although negative, no? Except for Matic, actually may pagka-bullish, no? Although it's still down, actually came from 1.8 now down to 1.34. Medyo mababa ito, but again, I think this is brought upon by the weekend FUD, no? Weekend FUD, and normally it recovers on a weekday. All right. So make sure, right? Make sure sa mga estudyante ko, what I taught you guys, if it's a bearish market, bearish, volatile, choppy market, do not expose out everything. Don't expose everything. No, leave some in your pocket. No, if you have, let's say, you have a 100,000 pesos. Just put 30% of that out. No, of out exposure in the market, and it's up to you to distribute the 30%. Maybe you do futures, you do staking, you do spot, but make sure you don't go all in. Never go all time buy. Don't go all time buy. Tatandaan niyo yan, guys, ha? Never go on all time buy, lalo na sa bear market, okay? All right. Same thing for AAV, no? Again, double digits negative. And then Neo, also the same. And I think almost all. Theta Fuel is actually positive at 20.13%. No? Really, really good. 11.71%. Medyo positive itong T-Fuel na to. Really, really good. No? And Shiba is also negative 26. Medyo mababa to. No? Laki ng binaba nito from 0.8, baba ng 0.26%. No? Um, let's see. All right, let's see. Let's go down. All right. Okay. Let's now go with other. Before I go with our usual, as I promised, we're going to do Fibonacci tracing today. No, but before we do that, let me actually make sure that we go on with some of our headlines today. No, some of our headlines. No, ayan. So we actually have one headline today. Bitcoin price could hit $85,000 in months as indicators flip bullish report. No, so let me just see this if this makes sense. So this is 2 hours ago. Bitcoin continued to range over the weekend at the time of writing, trading near $36,000 amid few signs of quashing resistance. That's very true. It's really, really consolidating. Sabi ni Coach MirandaMiner din yan for the past couple of weeks. Magapantay tayo ng consolidation. No? Fortunately, however, several measures of on-chain strength now suggest that the bounce from a bearish phase within an overall bull market is now underway. Let me check if this is making sense. All right, let me just open this, guys. BTC price, 28 active address change. Price change moving up into active address change band. I think there's a comparison of an active addresses here. No? Let's see. All right, $85,000 within months. Also on the cards is a rally back to the stock to flow. I thought we already discussed this stock to flow trend line. We already have discussed that, guys. Huh? We already have discussed this, no? No? And I hope that I was clear enough on this. This is actually where we are right now. This is this particular drop, no? Magkakamukha yan. This particular drop, this one, and then this one. And what normally happens after the yellow drop is actually the green. The green uptick. This uptick one, this uptick number two, right? And this uptick is still pending, no? It's still pending. So based on the stock and flow model, they also actually look at the trend, no? This particular trend sa ibaba, if you will notice, medyo may pagka-RSI ito, na kumbaga oversold, no? Na-reach na yung pinaka-ilalim, no? Oversold. So it could potentially bounce from here based on this stock and flow model. But you guys already have noticed, I will not discuss this anymore. All right. All right. And then other news in the cryptocurrency space. Let me just look into this. Of course, the Taproot upgrade, you already know this. Right. Let me check. Okay. Ayan, another one, no? Another one. Ethereum 1.5 billion options. Expiry on June 25th. Will make a break. Do you remember, guys? No, sabi natin before, no? Meron tayong options na nag-expire nung May. Although hindi niya nahabol yung 50K, no? Pero tumaas siya. Tumaas kahit pa paano to around 40, 42, no? Let's see. Mag-end na naman ng options era, and we'll see if the max pain point ng June 25th, the last Friday, and we will see if it's going to help carry the price of options to go even higher. No, we will see about that. We will see about that. Okay. All right. So Let me just quickly check. By the way, PSEI is really bullish. No? There's a lot of predictions earlier when I saw the Philippine stock market exchange is still bullish. Look at that trend, very very positive. Uh, they're forecasting to be at 7,200 points ang PSEI by end of the year. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not necessarily concerned of that trend, but let's go now to BTC. We're actually going also to plot sa BTC in Binance, no? But let's actually answer some questions for now if we have anything on the line, no? All right. Good evening, Red. Hello, hello. Medyo tahimik kayo today. No one's chatting. Are you guys all listening to Coach MirandaMiner? All chatting, ha? All not much of a chatting. Galamax, tahimik ang mga tropa sa ano, ha? Mga tropa sa Discord. All right. Okay. Guys, on the next half of the session, I'm going to teach you how to do the right Fibonacci scalping. But sorry, Fibonacci tracing. But guys, you gotta remember, si Coach kasi, gumawa na tayo ng video on this. Let me just make sure I give you the right screen. Hang on a second, guys. Gumawa na rin tayo dito. So before nyo, kung kayo ay bago, do not just use Fibonacci as your own one-time, big-time technique, no? Kailangan marunong kang gumamit ng Fib, no? Tsaka, if you remember sa mga matatagal ko ng members, sa mga matatagal ng Miranda Miners, before pa nag-Fibonacci si Coach Miranda Miner and he is already profitable, I'm only using breakout channels, right? And I intentionally did not teach Fibonacci because ayokong ma-overwhelm kayo. And I think that's what's happening with the questions na nare-receive ni Coach Miranda Miner. Ang dami-daming questions ngayon sa FB groups about Fibonacci. Okay, rule number 1, Fibonacci is a very effective tool only if you use it correctly. Only if you use it correctly. It's very effective. And number 2, if you guys are actually seeing my videos, I only don't use fib. I actually use let me just make sure I check the screen. Sandali lang guys. Confluences of or confirmation, no? Confirmation, 2 to 3 confirmation on a major fib support. So not because nag-bounce, not because nag-breakout, pasok tayo agad ng pasok. No? I'm just trying to open one of my files here para mag-guide din kayo ng maayos. Before kayo pumunta sa aking video, before kayo pumunta sa discussion na to ngayon, no? Saka para hindi rin kayo mahirapan, ito pakita natin sa inyo ngayon, no? Ayan. Okay. These are my videos, no? These are my videos for the past couple of days and actually weeks, no? I want you guys to look at this particular video, no? Let me just check the videos for now. By the way, greetings sa aking mga estudyante. Ang ganda ng post ni Eller. Wave number 1. Congratulations, Eller. Thank you sa post mo. And of course, kay Hesham, ang ganda ng dalawang intermediate testimony natin sa mga estudyante natin. Ang galing, no? Yung confidence, very good. Good job, Eller. Good job. Alright, ito, no? Nahanap natin. Nasaan ba yung fib? Ito. I need you guys to watch this video. This is a 2 weeks old video, how to use Fibonacci retracement and extension. Gamitin nyo to. I need all of you, before kayo magpapaplot-plot dyan na kung ano-anong Fibonacci, I need you guys to know the history of this video, no? Paano ba ginagamit? And someone else made a timestamp, no? How do you use your Fibonacci's correctly? Okay, how do you use your Fibonacci's correctly? Right, so please make sure, no? Please make sure, no? By the way, hindi ko alam ba't si Coach Miranda Miner, yung raccoon nandito sa video niya. Bago 'to may nagla-live nung kina Raccoon, eh, 'no? Tingnan natin mamaya yan. Yung gumagamit na yung nagra-Raccoon na icon, eh, 'no? Nakita niyo ba yung video na yan? Ethereum breakout daw. Anyways. Alright, okay. So thank you sa mga nag-comments diyan, but make sure you guys watch that, no? This is really gonna be helpful for you, no? Helpful para unawain niyo mabuti. And I think people have seen this video and they really understood paano gamitin. For example, itong comment na to. I like this. I honestly did not understand Fibonacci, but this one is crystal clear. So need to make sure you listen to also try that, no? Ayan. The most clear and the highest quality tutorial of Fibonacci retracement tool, very well explained. So maraming salamat po sa inyo. So yung mga ganyan, guys, pasahan nyo tong video na to para maunawaan ninyo. Okay? Now, gawin natin, maggawa tayo ng actual retracement. No? Okay. Let me just make sure I check kung may mga tanong mga yon. Alright. Medyo tahimik yung mga tao. Ano to chat? Alright. Si Luke andi dito. Good. Wala nang, okay, good. Tama yan, Look, very good, no? Alright, too deep daw yung topic. Okay, good. Alright, okay. Guys, let's start, no? So, by the way, before kayo mag-plot, no? Before kayo mag 30 minutes, every time you're actually trying to plot for a particular Fibonacci, first and foremost, I want you guys to zoom out, no? Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Lalabas mo na kayo. Look at the jungle, not the tree. Look at the jungle, not the tree, no? So, in this case, let's go to the one day trend, no? Obviously, this is actually upwards, but right now it's a downward trend. No? It's a downward trend. Based on this, it's actually a downward trend. But obviously, after that, merong pag-consolidate, no? I've been saying that the coin has actually been consolidating for quite some time. Okay? For quite some time. Okay? So let's do that, no? Let's do this. And then, teka lang, no? Let me just make sure I check on something real quick. Okay, so after this, what you need to do after you obviously look at the downward trend, obviously you have your sideways trend, no? Sideways trend, no? Let me go with BTC here. All right, so dito sideways din, no? Sideways, di ba? Yan, sideways. And then you have actually, yan, tanggalin yung volume, no? Ayan, so obviously you zoom out first. Zoom out. Then see if the trend going downwards, is the trend going sideways, no? In this case, it's actually going sideways. It's going sideways because there is actually a box. There is a box yan. There is a box here, no? And there's a box na na-form, no? We need to find for the bottom of that and the top, no? Yan, may pagka-box yan. It's a sideways, but obviously it's predominantly a downward trend, no? Sideways with a lot of volatility, no? Napakalaking volatility because if you measure that from a percentage perspective, from a price range perspective, ang volatility ng box na to is really really high, no? If you look at the price range from here to here, the volatility is almost 31%. The 31% box, sobrang volatile. Sobrang lalim, sobrang galaw, no? Sobrang galaw niya. But the good news is, after this significant falling knives trend, nagtuloy-tuloy na yan, na nag-sideways na. And that's a good trend. That's a really, really good trend, no? Alright, before ka pa mag-Fibonacci, tingin ka muna, meron bang trend dito? Of course, may trend dito. Tingnan nyo yan, no? Nakita nyo yan, meron siyang pag-trend na ganyan. Then, nauntog lahat dito, no? Lahat ng dulo ng, tatandaan nyo, ang inyong plotting is nasa dulo ng dulo ng wick, tapos dulo ng tail, no? Dulo ng tail yan. Medyo may pagka-trend na ganyan. Tapos tingnan natin kung merong other trend sa baba, trend line from here to there. Ayan, medyo may pag-trend line, no? May pag-trend line itong si Bitcoin. Ayan, no? Let's see. Let's see kung masusunod dyan trend line na yan. Mukhang may pag-triangle formation to si Bitcoin, you know? Alright. Aside from this, guys, as kunyari, nasa ano na kayo, nasa higher time frame, no? wag muna kayong bababa. Just look for a trend, no? Is it actually forming something? Is it forming, is it actually giving you any interpretations, no? Of course, you look at the older support, no? Look at the older support, di ba? Before ka pa mag-fib, look for major trend lines, no? Huwag kang fib ng fib agad, so look for that. Yan, major support yan kasi diyan nag-bounce yung may pag-bounce diyan yung downward trend na to, no? Right? So yan, another tatandaan yan. And of course, meron ka ditong another support line sa baba. Yan yung support line na yan. Kasi nauntog din dyan nag-bounce dito itong candle na to, no? So you need to look for that major trends. Major trends ka muna. And then that's when you do Fibonacci's on a 1 hour and 30 minutes time frame, no? Okay. So after this, sorry. Sorry about that. Nakawala ng boses si coach. Alright. Pagkatapos nito, okay, bababa ka ngayon. Nakita mo na, it's actually a downward trend, but it's actually predominantly downward on a sideways trend, no? Sideways trend. Another thing you need to use para mapatunayan mo it's actually a bear, no? Of course, gamit ka ng Bollinger Band, no? Tapos gamit ka ng BB50. Kasi ang EMA 50 or Bollinger 50 is a good indication of a particular trend if the trend is actually bullish or bearish, no? And so basically, it's actually bearish because it's below the BB50 line. No, it's below the BB50 line. Nag-break out na siya dyan, no? Sinubukan niyang basagin pero bumaba pa din. Alright? Okay, tanggalin sa BB50 line. Yan. So what you need to do now, nakuha mo na itong mga to. Let's lock them right now. Lock. Tapos let's lock them right now. Para hindi mawala, i-lock natin. Yan. Makakalimutang i-lock, right? And then what you need to is go down to 1 hour. Go to 1 hour. Yan. 1 hour. Okay, andun pa rin yung line, di ba? Andun pa rin yung line. Yan. Let me just make sure kung may mga tanong sa YouTube, masagot lang natin. Okay, yan. Alright. Okay, tahimik ko lang nagchat-chat Nakikinig lahat. Very good. Okay. Alright, what you need to do, no? So of course, meron ka ng tinatawag na 1 hour time frame, no? Tapos obviously you have your support line and you have your resistance plotting. Medyo may pagka-diagonal channel yan or channel down breakout, no? So tatandaan mo yan. Ngayon, gagawin natin this, no? This is what you need to do. How do you now identify kung kailangan mong i-fib yung particular chart, no? Particular chart. So gawin natin to. So ang sabi natin, this particular chart actually is predominantly downwards. Downwards, di ba? Downwards. However, in this case, nagpo-form siya ng consolidation or ng box. Okay, ng box, no? Alright. So when this happens, what you need to do is to look for, sabi nga natin by definition, retracement is a short-term period downward trend on a major upward movement. Okay. So kunyari, in layman's term, gawa tayo ng drawing dito. In layman's term, upward trend, okay? Upward trend but there is a retracement. Ibig sabihin merong teka lang. Okay. Upward trend pero merong kang tinatawag na retracement. Retracement meaning it's actually going down a little bit, no? So ang gusto mong ma-measure is hanggang saan ito magre-retrace. Hanggang saan magre-retrace itong arrow na to. Okay? Yan ang trabaho ni fib. So kunyari, ito yung upward trend, tapos meron kang Fibonacci dyan, meron kang retracement dyan. Ang gusto mong malaman, hanggang saan ito tutungo? Hanggang saan itong arrow na to bababa? Okay? Kasi pag ito bumaba below 0.618, ang turo ko, it can further go down. So let's do this, no? Let's do this. So let's look for a Fibonacci on this line. Fib, retracement going up. Kunin mo yung pinakatuktok ng arrow. Yan. Imagine mo wala pa tong arrow na to. Yan. Okay, coach, hanggang saan ba pwedeng mag-retrace yan? No? Nung sabi ko sa post ko sa Facebook, Magbabounce yan sa 0.5, nangyari, nagbounce sa 0.5. Alam ba ni coach na magbabounce? No. That is a prediction based on a known model. No, a known model because Fibonacci's normally the retracements sinasabi niya, the retracements normally happen on the 0.5 and the 0.618 at magbabounce yan dyan. Okay? Ito yung sinasabi ko. Kapag upward yung formation ng candle, ang iyong Fibonacci is also upward. Kasi hinahanap mo saan tatalbog yung retracement. Saan tatalbog yun? Magko-correct ba yun? Babounce ba yun? Hinahanap mo yun. Yun ang hinahanap mo. Okay? So pag pataas yan, pataas din ang hulma ng fib. Ngayon, pag pababa yan, pababa din ang hulma ng fib. Alright? Pababa din, no? So in this case, ang takbo ng candle na to is going up. Huminto dyan, nauntog. Nauntog, huminto dyan. Maghahanap ka ngayon ng, okay, saan to potential mag-bounce? 0.5. Mag-bounce yan sa 48. Mag-bounce sa 0.618. 618. Lalagay mo siya ng, of course, other indicators. Lalagay mo siya ng MACD, ng ano-ano pa, no? Kunyari, yan. No? For example, yan. Diba? For example, yan yung upward trend. Now, kung downward trend, gawin natin, no? And we will do the actual candle later on, no? Do the actual candle. Okay. Let's do a downward trend, no? Okay. This particular candle is going down. Boom! Nag-bounce doon. Ang tanong ngayon, hanggang saan siya lalaban at magbabounce? Hanggang saan? Pag ito ay umangat pataas, hanggang saan ang kailangan kong intayin before ako pumasok? Okay, gagawa tayo ng fib, no? Pababa, ngayon pababa. Pababa ang fib, ganyan. Nawala. Ganyan, pag ganon. Ganyan. Okay. Ang sabi natin, kapag ito bumasag na ng 0.618, ito 0.618, no? There's a tendency for this one to further go higher. Further go higher, no? Yan. In this case, normally, kapag hindi niya nabasag si 0.618, magko-correct yan bababa. For example, bumaba yan, bumaba. No? Yan, bumaba. Going down. Boom. Bumaba, kunwari, bumaba doon, yan. Yan. Tapos, lumaban ulit. Nag-bounce ulit sa 0.236. Lumaban. Okay, lumaban. No? Nag-bounce. Tapos, ang nangyari, pagka-bounce, kailangan niyang, pagka-bounce, umakyat ulit. Umakyat. So, kapag binasag niya na yung 0.618, there's a tendency for this coin to go higher. Okay? Yan ang ugali ng golden ratios. In-explain ko yan in detalye pag umatin ka ng beginner class ko. Yan ang ugali niya. No? Ngayon, punta tayo sa actual trend. Punta tayo sa actual chart. Okay? Let's do this. Huwag tayong lumayo. Let's go first with Fibonacci. No? Let's go with 1 day. Sorry guys, medyo sasamid si coach. Parang may nakakaalala yata sa akin. May nakakaalala sa akin. Sunday. No? Ayan. Subukan natin tong gawin. No? Itong buong trend na to, gawa natin to ng fib. No? Again, Fibonacci is a shorter wave on a shorter downward trend on an upward trend. No? So on an upward trend, diba? So in this case, let's look for this particular trend. Ayan, no? Pagkabas, di ba umakyat siya na umakyat, no? Nagba-bounce yan. Pag-akyat niya, nag-bounce siya sa... Again, you don't do this. This is only for illustration purposes. We're only using fib for shorter time frames, but this is just for illustration, no? For example, in this case, yan, nag-bounce sa 0.5, nag-bounce sa 0.382, common bounce areas. Bounce dito, bounce, and bounce. Diba? Common areas ng bigger waves, no? Ayan. Common, eh. Ayan. Tapos, nung nabasag niya na si 0.618, doon na siya naging bearish. Naging bearish siya doon, ayan. No, ba na bumaba? Diba? That's on a bigger time frame, but we will not solve that today. This is just for example purposes. No? All right, let's now do a Fibonacci on a current event. No? Let's now do a Fibonacci. Let's go a 1 hour trend. Sorry. Okay. May nakita kayo ditong cup and handle, no? Nakita niyo yung cup and handle na yan, no? Cup, tas handle na nabasag ulit. All right. So what you need to do, obviously, this is a sideways trend, no? This is a sideways trend. Diba? This is a downward trend. Downward trend to. Kapag ito nag-downward trend, um, downward trend, let's look at this one. Yan. Downward trend, diba? Downward trend. Okay. Isipin ninyo na ito ay wala pa. Wala pa yan, ha? Imagine mo, wala pa yan. Ito pa lang, pataas, itong pataas na to. This one. This one is still the first upward trend, short-term upward trend on a downward chart. Okay, ulitin ko ha. Shorter term upward trend on a downward chart. Where will I do my fib? Imagine wala pa to ha, wala pa to, no? Okay. What I will do is I will get the bottom of this particular chart and I will trace, hihilahin ko pataas dun sa tuktok ng pinakamataas. Kasi ang gusto kong mangyari, hanggang saan magbabounce itong pataas na to. Kasi pag nag-bounce yan doon at nag-bounce pa siya pataas, pwede pa tong tumuloy doon pataas. Right? Ayun ang trabaho ni Fib. Okay, gawin natin. Okay, downward trend, short-term upward trend on a downward movement. Or gawin natin to all together. Okay, let's do this. 1, baba, akyat, taas. Doon sa dulo. Imagine wala pa tong red the square na to ha. Okay. Imagine natin wala pa yung red square na yan. No? Trust natin yan. Yan. Kunyari wala pa yan. No? Lakihan natin to yan. Kunyari ito yung chart mo. Okay. Ito yung chart mo. Kunyari itong part na to wala pa to ha. Okay. Ulitin ko. Wala pa yan. Yan. Wala pa yan. O kaya gawin natin ganito. Ay usog ko ngayon sa kanan to. Yan. Yan. Eh, mas maganda yung ganyan. Ayan. Okay. Lakihan natin. Lakihan natin. Ilak ko lang si Fib. Okay, lakihan natin to. Ayan, okay. Imaginein mo wala pa yung pababa. Yan pa lang ang itsura niya. Okay. So, coach, itong pinakailalim mo is dapat salo ng pinakailalim na wick. Itong wick na yan, di ba? Yan, yung pinakailalim na wick. No? Ilalim na wick, no? Alright. Ito pwede mo rin gamitin to. Right? Pwede mo rin gamitin yan. In this case, we will just use this one. No? Kasi pwede ka rin mag-fib ganyan. Pwede ka mag-ganyan ng fib. Ganyan. Fib. Oh. Diba? Yan. Pero pwede mo rin gamitin tong fib na to. No? Yan. This one. No? Kasi ito bumasag. This already one went down to 0.618. Eh. Diba? So, another fib na tayo. Yan. Kasi going downwards na to. This one is going upwards. Na. So, we do this. We look at the bottom. The pinakailalim nung kandila na yon, yung pinaka-ilalim niya. Tapos kunin mo yung pinakatuktok na kandila. No? Tapos doon mo ilalagay yung dulo ng Fibonacci. No? Yan. Yan. Tapos yung ilalim, pinaka-ilalim. Pwede mong hindi itapat, pwede mong ilaktaw to dyan. Basta yung ilalim ng fib mo, salo yung pinaka-ilalim ng candle. Okay? Pwede mong ilaktaw yan. Yan. Ilaktaw natin yan. Kasi, salo naman to doon yan, no? Salong-salo, 'di ba? Yan. Lakihan natin para makita mo. 'Di ba? Yan ang salo niya. 'Yon, salong-salo. Pwede mong ganyan, pwede mong ilaktaw yan basta nasa salo ng fib, no? Yan. All right, let's do this. Okay. So pagka ganoon, sa taas, kunyari wala pa tong bababang to, no? Ang sinasabi natin kapag si Fibonacci ay nag-bounce, ang common bounce area niya is 0.382, 0.5, 0.618. Kapag yan bumasag na ng 0.618, pwede na yang bumaba, baba. Okay. Lagyan natin to ng isa pang indicators. Okay. Parang meron na kayong beginner class ngayon. Ay talaga. Alright. Yan. Okay. So in this case, gawan natin to ng fib, no? Fibonacci yan, no? So in this case, pataas, no? Kunyari, wala pa to. Yan. Kunyari, wala pa yan. Hanggang dyan pa lang yung pinakatuktok. Alright. Sabi ni coach, ang 0.5 and 0.618 can be a potential retracement area, potential bounce area. So i-forward natin, forward, okay. Forward, boom 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 boom. Oh, lumalaban. Lumalaban, nagba-bounce sa 0.382. May pag-bounce dito, lumalaban, no? Lumalaban, nag-bounce, 'di ba? Nag-bounce sa major fib area, 'yun, nag-bounce doon, no? Tumaas, o 'yan. Oh, nabasag yung 0.382. Nasalo ng 0.5, lakihan natin, hindi mo makita. Ayan. Tanggalin ko muna si MACD, ayan. Ayan, 'di ba? Oh, nasalo ni 0.382, lumaban. Bumaba, bumaba, bumaba. Oops, nasalo ni 0.5. Nag-bounce, tumaas. Nag-bounce, tumaas. Right? Nag-bounce ulit, nauntog sa 0.382. Kata niya, nauntog lang doon. I mean, to be honest with you, alam ba ng mga tao na kailangang iuntog nila yan sa 0.5 at 0.382? No. Your traders don't know that the price should correct or mauuntog sa 0.382 line. Isipin nyo yan. Alam ba ng mga trader na kailangan iuntog nila yung price na yan dyan? No, that is the law. That's the power of Fibonacci. That's the power of Fibonacci. And tinan mo, ilang beses nauntog? 1, 2, nauntog dito, di ba? Lumalaban eh. Oh, di ba lumalaban? O, lumalaban din dito. Nauntog na naman dito. Nag-bounce dito. Di ba? Doon lang sila umiikot sa mga major Fibonacci areas. And kapag ang iyong support line, ilang beses na siyang tinest, nag-bounce, it becomes stronger and stronger. No? It becomes stronger and stronger. Yan, no? Tingnan mo guys, saan siya umiikot? Saan siya nagko-correct? Di ba? Saan siya nagko-correct? Doon sa Fibonacci areas mo. Di ba? Doon lang siya umiikot eh. Di ba? Strong pa siya because ito nagkaroon na ito ng breakout. Breakout na, bumaba. Lumaban ulit, no? Yan. So pag ganyan na yung pormahan dyan, pag ganyan na yung pormahan mo, right? Of course, pag ito, bumaba pa to ng mas mababa, kunwari, this one is actually even lower than the previous support. Like, kunwari, itong part na to, umabot na to hanggang dito. Yan, hanggang dyan na siya. Kunwari, itong candle na to, itong candle, bumulusok dito pababa, pa ganyan, pa ganyan. Kunyari yan. Nasira na yung Fibonacci mong una. No? Nasira na. No? So either you zoom out, look for an older support, or gumawa ka ng bagong fib. In this case, kunyari itong trend na to, binasag niya na yung 0.618, no? Binasag na rin niya tong level na itong part na to, binasag niya na to, for example. Kunyari ito, nabasag na to, tumuloy-tuloy na pababa yung candle, no? Yan. So, ano gagawin mo ngayon dyan? What will you do? No? You will form a new Fibonacci. You will form a new Fibonacci going down. Going down naman. Para for you to measure how long ang kailangan mong basagin pataas para tumuloy-tuloy siya pataas. Di ba? How long? No? Pababa ka niya, pababa. Di ba? How long should it break? No? How long should it break? Right? So in this case, let's assume, ang galing ko na itong mga arrows. Wala ba nagtatype? Seryoso lahat, ha? Wala nagtatype, ha? Okay. Let me remove all of the arrows, guys. Kailangan ng kape ni coach. Naantok na ako. Kailangan magising. Alright, okay. Okay, let's go for one day again. Okay. Okay, one day yan. Yan. Okay. Kunwari, no? Kunyari ang iyong candle, ito palang pababang to. Downward trend. No? Downward trend. No? Yan. Of course, pag mahabang downward trend, kailangan mo maghanap ng area where you could fib. Saan yung part na pwedeng sabihin, okay, bullish na to. Okay, mag-breakout na to. pababa ka na niyan, pababa yan, going down. Yan. No? So at this particular area, ang yung major area should be, ang yung major resistance is $48,000. Para masabi mong this can potentially already break out, no? $48,000. Another one that you could use is your BB50 line. No? Pwede mong gamitin 'yon, no? And that's the way you use your downward. Another one, kung shorter downward trend, okay, tanggalin natin 'to. Ayan. Tayo ng 1 hour. Okay, yan. Alright. Okay. Ito, for example ito. Let's do this. So this is 1 hour, no? Imagine ninyo ito wala pa. Itong mahabang box na 'to. Okay, imagine ninyo ganyan pa lang yung trend. Ito pa lang. Ayan, going downwards. Yan, ayan ang going downwards. Sabihin nyo, Coach, ano ba nangyayari? Bakit pababa ng pababa yung coin? Ano bang gagawin namin? Pababa ng pababa, ganyan. Ang pangit, pababa ng pababa. Yan. What should we do? What should we do? Diba? Ayan, so in this case, ayan, sana makisama yung mouse ni Coach. Kunyari, ganyan. Puro red. Ano na gagawin namin, Coach? Puro red naman yan. Diba? Going downwards, no? Diba? Unang-una mong ginawang Fibonacci ito, pataas na. Diba? Gumawa ka ng Fibonacci pataas dyan. Yan, no? Kunyari, gumawa ka dyan sa pataas, no? Nabasag na yung 0.618. Ito. Basag na to. Bumulusok pababa yung candle. Anong gagawin ko dyan, Coach? What should I do? What should I do? Pababa ng pababa. Pababa ng pababa ng pababa. What should I do? Yan, no? Hindi na nanalo. Hindi na nanalo sa point, ano? Bumaba na, bumaba na, bumaba na, bumaba na. Yan, sinasalo lang ng 0.618. Bumaba na, bumaba na, bumaba. What should you do? No? Pag ganyan na, meron ng bagong ilalim, may bagong ilalim na siya, hindi na to yung ilalim mo. Diba ito yung ilalim mo kanina? Sa fib na to. May bago na siyang ilalim. Ito na yung pinaka... Alam nga namang hilahin mo to pababa. Alam mo hilahin mo to, hindi ganyan yan. Diba? So, mag-forward ka dito. Forward ka na dyan. Yan. Ayun yung bago mong ilalim eh. Yan. Tanggalin mo to. Okay? Bago yung ilalim mo, diba? O, mag-retracement ka ngayon. Yan. Retracement. Yan. Pababa. Okay. Saan tayo maghahanap ng line, no? Kunyari, pababa. Imagine mo, wala pa tong part na to, ha? Imaginein mo, wala pa yan. Wala pa yan. Ito pa lang, pababang to. Ito pa lang. Okay? Ano oras na ba? Alas 11 na? Alright. Yeah, pababa, no? Yan. Yan, pababa. Anong gagawin ko dyan? May gulay. Wala na ang pangtaya. Sabi niya siguro, yan. Puro red na yan, oh. Bagong ilalim. Anong gagawin mo dyan? Oh, i-trace mo. I-trace mo yan. So, anong retracement area? Sabi ko sa inyo, 0.618. Kailangan, pagpababa yung trend, kailangan bumutas siya ng 0.618 pataas. Teka lang, 0.618 pataas, no? In this case, pakisagot sa baba. Pakisagot sa tanong. Nabutas ba ng pababang trend na to nung tumaas siya? Nabutas ba niya yung 0.618? Nabutas ba tong part na to? Type 1. Nabutas niya nung paakyat siya? Nabutas, di ba? Type 1, please. Type 1 kung naiintindihan. Pa-type 1. Nabutas po ba niya yung bumaba? On this candle, nabutas ba niya yung 0.618? Yes, okay. Nung nabutas niya, tumuloy-tuloy-tuloy pataas. Correct? Correct? Right? So when you're creating, okay, pag meron na siyang bagong ilalim, di ba ito yung una mong ilalim kanina, ito na yung Fibonacci ilalim mo, pataas yan, no? Bumutas nga ng 0.618 pababa so may bago na siyang bottom. Di ba? May bago ng bottom. Hindi mo na pwedeng hilahin tong Fibonacci pataas na to. Ito, gagawa ka ng bagong fib. Pababa na yung fib mo. Okay. Ang gusto mong hanapin kasi sa pababang fib na to, ang saan ka papasok. In this case, pumasok ka sa breakout ng 0.618. Okay, dito ka papasok ngayon sa taas na to. Dito ka papasok dyan, no? Daan. Pasok ka dyan. Pag dyan nagkaroon ng halmachi, pumasok ka. Okay? Nagets mo? Pag dyan bumuo ng halmachi, dyan ka pumasok kasi unang-una, halmachi is a confluence. Diba? It's a confluence. At nabasag niya na pataas yung 0.618 and look what happened, no? Look at what happened. Nag-freeze yung screen ni Coach. That's what happened. Diba? Yun ang gamit mo doon. So kailangan mo lagi 0.618, 0.618, 0.618. Okay, yun yung golden ratio. Diba? Nung nabasag, nag-bounce pa nga, oh. Sinubukan niyang ilang beses niya sibukang basagin. Ilang beses niyang binasag. Ayun, oh, basag. Sinubukan niyang basagin. Nanalo na siya, pangatlo. Actually, pang-apat niya nang binasag yan. Hindi niya nawasag-basag eh. Diba? Actually, huwag mo isama to. Pababa yung trend na yan eh. Kinuha mo yung pinakailalim, di ba? Ayan. 0.618, doon lang siya nauntog. Nung hindi niya na kinaya, nung nabasag na talaga niya, tinan mo, ang haba nung candle, pagkabasag, di ba? So, kailangan, ang pasok mo dyan, ang entry mo dito, kailangan ng entry mo dyan is, upon breakout of 0.618 fib resistance on a downward trend, upon a breakout of 0.618 fib resistance ng isang paakyat na candle trend galing sa downward, that is your buy signal. But, make sure merong confluence. May confluence, meaning meron kang halmachi, meron kang bullish divergence, no? Kasi pag nabutas niya yan pataas, may tendency tumaas. Kapag binutas niya pababa, it will go down. Okay? Alright. Pagod na ako, alas 11 na. Meron mga tanong sa question muna sa YouTube, parang ang daming tanong ah. Galamax, tutulog ka na daw ba? Eka lang. Bad trip yung naghang kasi pataas, kasi taas nakaposisyon ka na hahahaawit. Yan. Guys, nagigets nyo ba? Nagigets nyo ba? O nasayang lang yung pagod ni Coach? Nagigets nyo? Parang di nagbabago yung audience ko. Talagang 200. Kanina ba to 206? So walang umaalis. Guys, sana naintindihan nyo ah. Hello? Hello? Yung H is high, Kinashi. Nagets nyo na? Ayan. Kasi kung makakita po ako ng tanong, ano po, tama po ba yung entry ko? Siguro, naka-record naman to siguro, Gabriel, no? Can you just give this to them siguro? Look for this recording. Gamitin nyo na lang to pang example, okay, moderators? Pag may tanong doon sa, Choi, nakita ko si Choi, Galamax, Gabriel, Chriselle. Thank you guys ha. Pag may tanong sa Facebook groups, Coach, tama ba yung entry ko? Pakita nyo itong recording na to, please. No? Just give this to them. I explained mga 40 minutes ko siguro nag-explain tong Fibonacci na to. So, may resistance. Merong support sa 200 yung viewers ko eh. Hindi ko kasi nakikita yung mga chats. Ngayon ko lang binabasa. No? Gets, guys? Yan. Okay. Thank you. Mga normal, ang worry ko kasi guys, yung mga nakikita ko nagre-reply, ayun yung mga common kong nakikitang audience. Ang worry ko kasi if you're a newbie, it's good na rin you're not commenting kasi I don't want you to use Fibonacci. I want you to use the other metrics that Coach MirandaMiner is using. Ayan, mas konti na daw ang sasagutin ni Galamax. Very good. Konti na lang ang sasagutin ni Galamax sa Discord. Kasi ang ganito gagawin niya, X-Teen. Kapag may nagtanong sa Discord, get the URL of this live. Okay, lagpasan niyo yung ano, lagpasan niyo si Taproot. Fast forward doon sa napakahabang explanation ni coach about fib. Ewan ko na lang, parang mas mahaba pa nga 'to dun sa video na nilabas natin. Link na lang, tama. I-link niyo na lang. Tama 'yan, 'no? Tama 'yan. Tapos tatandaan niyo, ito yung tinatawag nating confidence, 'no? Confidence kasi sabi ko nga based on the trend 'pag nasasalo ng 0.618, puwede kayong kumuha ng buy entry dun, eh. Buy entry, 'di ba? Puwede kayong kumuha dun ng buy entry. So, pagka-bounce kuha dun ng ano, ng buy, 'no? So again, zoom out, zoom out. Pagka-zoom out dun kayo mag-plot, 'no? Again, rule, when will you change your fib kung meron ng bagong bottom? When will you change your fib going upward kung meron ng bagong upward, merong bagong resistance, 'di ba? Kasi kunyari wala pa 'tong candle na 'to, where will you now enter? Kunyari pababa pa lang yung 'di ba? Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, Fibonacci is predictive, but again, you cannot use Fibonacci alone. You need to have other confluences. Kaya kunyari ganito ang candle mo, sige nga, ayan. Kung hindi mo alam si Fibonacci, paano mo titirahin yung ganyang candle? Yung kunyari nagkaroon na ng ganyang pag-akyat, yan. 'Di ba tumaas na? Paano mo titirahin yan? Paano ko didiskarte diyan? Ganito na, oh, 'di ba? Siyempre una mo breakout. Breakout, ganyan, trendline breakout, 'di ba? Yan, oh, trendline breakout. Oh, pataas ano hanggang saan ang buga niyan? Hanggang saan ang habulin mo? How would you know that this breakout will go down? 'Di ba? How would you know? That's the purpose of fib. You're trying to understand until when is this short upward trend is going to retrace on a known downward movement. Kailangan mo malaman saan papunta tong upward na 'to. You need to know, right? Kapag wala kang fib, di mo alam, 'di ba? Eh, pataas ng pataas, oh. Oh, oh, tumaas. Sayang naman, 'di mo naabutan, 'di ba? Kasi kung finib mo 'to, 'di ba? 'Di ba? At bumasag ng 0.61, ang ganda ng candle na 'to, oh, napakaganda naman ng candle na 'to. Pagkabasag sa 0.618, ayan, oh, kita mo 'yan? 'Di ba hindi lang breakout ang alam mo, oh, 'yan, oh, 'di ba nag-breakout, oh, tumaas ng tumaas ng tumaas. How would you know that this will further go up? 'Di ba? Because of this, because of Fibonacci. So for example, this one, oh, 'di ba? Look at this one. Look at this beautiful candle. Ang ganda, oh, ayan, oh. O pagkabasag, tingnan mo, 'di ba? Nagre-range lang siya sa Fibonacci lines, eh. Nakikita niyo ba yung lines na yan, guys? Eh, nagre-range lang siya, oh. Oh, hindi naman yan inimbento ni coach, oh. Oh, bakit siya nauuntog doon sa mga lines na at pagkaroon, tingnan mo, ha, guys, tingnan mo, ha. Oh, tingnan mo, ha. Oh, 'di ba box yan? Oh, box. Oh, box yan, eh. Oh, pagkalagpas ng Fibonacci na 'to, tumuloy na naman pataas. At teka lang, oh, nauntog dito. I mean, nag-bounce dito. Hmm, kita niyo, oh, nag-bounce diyan. Alam ba ng mga buyers 'yan? Does the buyer know? Does the buyer know that they need to raise the price at this area? They don't know. They don't. I mean, would they, oh, okay, sabi ni Coach MirandaMiner, oh, lahat tayo sa buong mundo, 0.786 bounce. 'Di ba? They would not know that, guys. That's naturally how, sabi ni Fibonacci, sabi ni Leonardo di Pisa, sabi niya, no? Everything falls into order. But of course, again, I know it's powerful, but hindi ko sinasabing enter at 618. Meron akong karaging karugtong, di ba? Enter, create your Halmachi above, right on the bounce or after the breakout. Another one, sabihin natin, no? Paano malalaman nag-breakout? 'Di ba? Paano malalaman nag-breakout? Siyempre kailangan mo ng confirmation, kailangan mo ng conviction, lagyan mo ng volume, no? Guys, it's 11:09, no? Hindi nagbabago yung audience ni Coach. Talagang lahat kayo nakikinig. No? Lahat kayo nakikinig. Okay? So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for, it's 11:09, no? Sana natuto kayo. Natuto ba kayo, guys? Type 1 nga, please. Type 1. All right. Okay. I think guys, it's 11:10, meron pa akong klase malapit na, mag-reply pa ako sa mga emails. Pero guys, salamat, no. I hope you learned something today. I hope that this video is helpful, no. And moderators, just siguro ipaki-share na lang tong link na to sa mga questions sa mga newbies. Siyempre pati yung ating Fibonacci history, no, para matutunan. And guys, thank you so much. And I would just like to take this time to say thank you to all of you guys. If you will notice sa ating screen today, tayo ay meron ng 16,100 members. So maraming salamat sa inyong pagmamahal, dahil gusto niyo ako maging mag-ala professor. Dumadami pa yung viewers, 211 pa. No? Mag-ala professor dito. Di gagawin natin yan, sige. No? Pero again, thank you guys, no? Thank you sa inyong pagmamahal, sa inyong pangunawa at sa inyong support. And sa aking mga estudyante sa batch number 2, beginner, batch number 3, beginner, and batch number 2, intermediate, get ready. Get ready with your mind. Open your mind and unlearn anything that you've learned in the past. And I'd look forward seeing you guys on our upcoming class, no? All right, on our upcoming class. And I hope that you guys have learned something today, no? I hope you guys have learned something today. And I hope that this particular video enabled you to get to know more about the Fibonacci videos. Okay. All right, guys. With that said, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will talk to you guys all very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Shalom. Coach MirandaMiner loves all of you. 3,000. I love you guys.